All right, gonna call the meeting to order. Can you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, can we get a roll call vote for board attendance, please?
Davidson?
Here.
Hugh?
Here.
Gillette? Gary Gillette?
Say here.
Hmm?
You're here.
Can I hear?
No, say that you're here.
Oh,
She's taking
I'm
a
here,
roll
present.
call.
Sorry.
Wilkes?
Here.
Horsey?
Here.
Smeltzer?
Here.
Everstein?
Here.
All right, members of the board should now elect an acting chairperson until the election of the president. Is there a motion?
Are we going to do the ceremony?
Yeah, we have to do that first. Just kidding. Sorry. Ceremonial office of oath.
Okay. All right, can I have Jessica, Sarah, Gary, and Nate please stand? Put your right hand up. And repeat after, well, all you have to say is I do after I read this. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this state, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of member of the Board of Education of Galesburg-Augusta Community Schools, Kalamazoo County, Michigan, according to the best of my ability.
I do.
I do.
Yay!
Thank you guys for joining us. Okay, members of the board should now elect an acting chairperson until the election of the president. Is there a motion to elect a chairperson? Typically, this is the highest ranking officer from the previous elected year.
I'll make a motion to appoint Jessica Everstein as our
Acting chairperson.
acting chairperson.
I'll support. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed?
Thanks, Jessica.
So next up, we have the approval of the agenda. So board, you have agenda in front of you. We talked about changing under reports, community input, removing agenda item only so that Tony could speak. So you have a motion?
I'll make a motion to amend the agenda, reports A, just to cross out agenda items only and just have community input.
I'll support.
Okay, roll call, or all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next up, we have election of officers. First up, we have the nominations are now open for the office of president. Do we have any nominations?
I'd like to nominate Jessica Everstein for office of president. School board president. Do we support that?
I think you just make these are just
Yeah.
nomination
Okay.
and then you go through and
Do we have any other nominations? Okay. So nominations for president are now closed. So I have a motion to appoint the president.
I'll motion to approve Jessica Everstein as president of the board
the 2025.
for the 2025 year.
That's not the one, but thank you.
I'll support.
Can I get a roll call vote, please?
Yes. Horsey?
Yes.
Davidson?
Yes.
Gillette?
Yes.
Smeltzer?
Yes.
Shoup?
Yes.
Wilkes?
Yes.
Everstein?
Yes. Motion carries 7-0. Next up, we have the vice president. So I'd entertain motions or nominations for the vice president.
I'd make a motion to approve Laura Wilkes as the vice president.
I'll second.
No, we didn't do that.
Any other
Oh,
nominations?
sorry. Any other nominations? Okay. I would entertain a motion.
I'll motion to appoint Laura Wilkes as the vice president of the Board of Education.
I'll support. Roll call vote, please.
Horsey?
Yes.
Davidson?
Yes.
Gillette?
Yes.
Smeltzer?
Yes.
Shoup?
Yes.
Wilkes?
Yes.
Everstein?
Yes. Motion carries 7-0. Next up, we have a secretary. Do we have any nominations for secretary?
I'd like to nominate Christy Corsi for Secretary of the GA School Board.
I'll support.
No other nominations? I entertain a motion.
A motion to nominate Christy Corsi as Board Secretary of the GA Board of Education.
I'll support.
Roll call vote, please.
Davidson,
Yes.
Gillette,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Smeltzer,
Yes.
Wilkes,
Yes.
Shute,
Yes.
Everstein,
Yes. Motion carries 7-0. And then next we have nominations for the treasurer.
I'd like to nominate Diana Shoup for Treasurer of the GA School Board.
Do we have any other nominations? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to appoint Diana Shoup as Treasurer of the GA School Board.
I'll support.
Roll call vote, please.
Davidson,
Yes.
Corsi,
Yes.
Gillette,
Yes.
Smeltzer,
Yes.
Wilkes,
Yes.
Shute,
Yes.
Everstein,
Yes. Motion carries 7-0. Congratulations, everyone. Next up, we have recognition of board terms. So Jessica Everstein's expires December 31st, 2028. Christy Corsi is December 31st, 2026. Sarah Davison is December 31st, 2026. Gary Gillette's term expires December 31st, 2028. Diana Shoup's term will expire December 31st, 2026. And Nathan Smeltzer's term expires December 31st, 2028, along with Laura Wilkes, expiring December 31st, 2026.
Thank you all.
And then we have the board, we have a consent agenda in front of us for the approval of minute meetings for the regular meeting dated December 18th, 2024. The committee of the whole meeting dated January 6th, 2025. Approval of accounts payable in the amount of $558,637.36 for the month of December 2024. Approval of the treasurer report dated December 31st, 2024 with a balance of $3,294,560.62. And then I'll turn it over to Lindsay for resignations and new hires.
Yep, we have resignation, Jessica Allen, and then anything on that, Sean?
Nope, she was just kind of filling in for some time in between hiring new people. So.
New hires, it looks like we have a bunch of people that left that we had to fill positions, but it was for our daycare that we were able to fill a lot with some of our high school students and some graduates. So the first name, Jacob Bauman, he is our new social studies teacher at the middle school. So we were able to fill that. We have Deputy Eric Benton, who was going to be here tonight to say a word and hello, but he lives up towards GR, so I said just stay home. But he's doing a fabulous job for us, filling in for Murphy. And then Emily Gates, an advisor. Taylor Hartman. Which position is that, Sean?
She is a special education program.
Yes, special ed parapro. Krista Simmons, advisor. Aiden, Raina, Robert, Piper, and Adriana are all at the daycare, I believe. No retirements.
So at this time, we'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll support.
Yeah.
Roll call vote, please.
Corsi,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Smeltzer,
Yes.
Shute,
Yes.
Gillette,
Yes.
Wilkes,
Yes.
Everstein,
Yes. Motion carries 7-0. Next up, we have reports. At this time, I'll open up the meeting for public comment. Please state your name for the record, and then you'll have 3 minutes Tony?
I'm gonna sit or...
Yeah, you can sit there.
My name's Tony Tipkin. I'm the new city council member here in Galesburg. I just was elected this year, but they appointed me also to be the liaison between Galesburg City and the school board, so the school district. So it'll be me to bring you guys anything new updates to the city, along with you guys any concerns, anything to take back to the city council meetings. Our meetings are the first Monday of every month. And I have an email, if I can get it to you guys, or it's ttipken@galesburgcity.org. That's TTIPKEN @galesburgcity.org. I know I went last week to get a photo, so they should be updating the pictures and all that stuff at the city website also. I didn't really have much from my first meeting that I went to, that I was actually on the council, but some of you may not know, but they did approve an expansion of the museum, of the Galesburg Museum, of a 40 by 80 edition that'll be coming, I think, they're going to start break ground this spring. The museum's completely paying for it, but the building and everything will be owned by the city. So when the curator retires, which is Keith Martin right now, his assistant, her name's Mary Scott, will be taking over, and there's still looking for more people to kind of be backups for when that, happens. So they have plans already if something happens to Keith, because he's like, I am older, so if something did happen there, they have plans and works of what happens if something ever happened to him. But it's all completely paid for by the museum, but the city will own the building. But it's a good addition. They're planning on adding an art room, possibly a historic fire truck that they have possession of, but they may not be able to move it to the new building. Possible displays could be the GA memorabilia would be in that area. A bunch of the railroad stuff, antique fire dryer, says the city board with the whole table and all that. So they're looking to expand it and make it a lot bigger. And it's completely ran by, Keith said at the last meeting that he was at, that he, over his years of curating the museum, has probably turned in over $1 million worth of pop bottles. Not $1 million, 1 million pop bottles to fund the museum. And that's where they get majority of their funding, is from just donations, and a lot of it is pop bottle returns, pop bottle that he does a lot of himself. That was about the only thing that I had to update the community with that you guys may not have known about. Anything for me to take back to them at this time?
So unfortunately, can't be a two-way conversation, but next time we'll add you on to our reports.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anytime you want to come, just message me and we'll get you on there.
I'm supposed to be here every month.
Thank you, Tony.
I'll message you if I can't be here.
Next up, we have celebration, school board appreciation.
Alright, so because you guys have to do so much back and forth and there's always a million things in your hands, you're moving from one thing to the other, here is your school board bag. It is equipped with all the goodies that you may need. Little tote. You can put your Chromebook in it. You can put your Chromebook in it. Yeah, sure is. Does it? Oh, very cool. And there's a little goodie in there so that, when you're sitting here and you have a little cough in your throat, you got a little mint to help yourself out. Tissues if you're overjoyed. You need to wipe the happy tears. So.
Oh, very cool. Thank you very much.
And then there is a book in there Jess gave. So I don't remember where you got this. Just we threw that in there so that we can all grow. There you go. Thank you. Probably some of your favorites in there. So thank you for all that you do. Merry Christmas, Happy Board Appreciation.
I love how you guys are implementing the favorites throughout the buildings. Next up, superintendent update.
Okay, so this colorful document in front of you is our, Sarah, can I steal that so I don't have to yell?
Oh, yeah, by all means.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so on the top of this document, the strategic plan update. Told you I'm always going to keep that at the forefront of our mind here. So increasing student awareness for behavior and climate and culture. We, for the third year now, have been taking the panorama assessment or survey. So we send that out to our teachers, our students, and our community, like our families. And it sends us data on what we're doing well and what we're not doing well. So some of the questions you can see in this data table below, the like red and yellow looking one. School climate, school leadership, and school safety are some of the big areas that we really hone in on. I looked at the data for primary, middle school, and high school, and we didn't drop in anything over this past 2023 to 2024. We've increased greatly. You guys can go if you want to. It's up to you. You will not. I will not think you're rude. So you can just take a gander at this, but look at the percentages of what we went up around school climate. At the primary with families in yellow, and then with staff and school climate across the buildings. Middle school stayed the same, so there's just not been a ton of growth in that, but being stable is positive. And then our school leadership up as well. And then safety up as well. So, and that 79 or whatever percent favorable is people are responding like that things are going strong, either agree or strongly agree on those scales. Yep. So I do have each building here. I'm not going to go into a ton of detail, but you know, sometimes when you put things together like this and you're trying to show data, you try to pick like the greatest stuff on there. It's all great. These are the highest ones, so I just definitely wanted to share those. But if and when you have more questions around some of the areas, like grit for the high school, as a former high school principal, we really focused in on grit with our student learners, and we increased that by 8%, which grit isn't something that you just change. Like, so to have that dig in over the last 2 years is super awesome. So anyway, if and when you're looking to look at some more of that information, I have it here. Continuing on that top table, for career readiness, as one of our goals in our strategic plan, we have 39 spots to fill at the new Career Connect Center. We've got about 30 spots-ish filled right now. We're slotted for kids to want to do it. So we have to be relentless with finding 9 more spots to get filled for our students, because one of the new things this year is for any of our CTE courses that we want or that we're slotted for, we have to pay for if we don't fill them. So it's really important for us to be creative. Bethany Stanton, our high school counselor, was at a counselor session last week to get brainstorm ideas with other counselors about what are they doing to, outside of meeting one-on-one with kids and trying to see what they want to fill, just getting creative of like, hey, we've got 2 days to fill this spot. There's only, there's 2 kids on the waiting list. You should get on it. Just trying to communicate and market it as much as possible is what we're trying to do.
What grades is that for?
High school. So typically 10th grade is when they go for that. So we have an external deadline of March 31st to fill that, but we've told our students by the end of February we want them filled, so that then we can really see, okay, are we filled or do we have more work to do, and we're not just waiting till the last minute. One of our biggest things is to try to, so we know everybody in this room, let's say, wants to be in a CTE class, but we need to find a couple outsiders to get on that wait list, so that if and when you fall through, then we've got somebody else to fill that. So that's going to be our biggest project right now at the high school. So yeah, that's what's going on around that. And then increasing staff engaging district initiatives. We know that we've got an athletic strategic plan, and then our strategic plan that goes through 2026 for the district. So with a change of leadership in the music department, we thought it was a good time to put together music strategic plan. So getting our elementary teacher and then our high school band director, middle school band director, to really start thinking and being purposeful and intentional about how we're running those programs. So we started that last week. We had a meeting. I have not had a chance to catch up with Caleb. I was out last week with the conference, and then we've had no school today. So you can, if you're dying to know, you can get with Laura, but if not, I'll have that update for you coming up. Headed down underneath the pretty table there, pretty graph, we've got budget. Our next meeting is tomorrow with Philip. I'm really trying to, Philip's put together where when the budget for each month comes out, it goes directly to the principals via email. And we even brainstormed through that session with the principals and Philip that not only do they get to see their item lines for their buildings, but then it's going to show the transactions for the building, so that they can be very purposeful of what we're spending money on and trying to hone in on some of the practices of what we should be versus not be spending money on, and where are some areas of item lines that we're not necessarily spending, and do we need to reallocate that going forward. So I'm hoping to, by the time that we get to our February 3rd meeting through our evaluation conversation, being able to meet with one principal prior to that to really go through and see what is going to be our game plan going forward with looking at those things monthly. The good news is Philip's been super helpful in trying to figure out what I'm trying to say and then making it happen, or what I'm trying to envision and making it happen. Okay, safety. We're very pleased to have Deputy Benton. I said that a little bit earlier. He's been engaged. He was at the dance on Saturday, so just excited to have him super engaged. I mean, it's been flawless so far. I saved all my conversations with Murphy all the way to the last minute, so I haven't really gotten to know him yet, so starting this week I will. I do know he likes Tommy Boy. That's his favorite movie, and that's one of my favorite movies. Bond meeting. So our next meeting is tomorrow. I meet with PFM to talk about the refunding and the refinancing conversation. When I was up at the conference, I ran into Brody, who was one of our PFM representatives, I guess you could say. And I was like, what's next? Like, where are we in this process? Again, remember, I don't know, I haven't done this before. And so he's like, let's get on a call next week. So they scheduled it. They had it in my email before I even got back to district. So we're meeting tomorrow. I have some of that so I can update you guys as we go. Stadium, we have a mediation demanded by Lounsbury. So I forward that email over to Philip Clark with Troon. He's one of our lawyers. And so he is the point person for all contact from Lounsbury at this point. So he'll be guiding us through what that is. Right now, we are holding any funding for the stadium project, which is a handful, but there's no really new things going out. So we're going to continue to pay Triangle for the multi-purpose space and any of the other projects because that's just good business. But anything in regards to the stadium, we don't know. So I will let you know when that mediation date is set. I have Denny and Frank Couch at my side. They have the historics of all of what went on. So we have a letter from Lounsbury, 14 pages, that basically says everything that was done and not done and whatnot. So Denny and Frank and I are going to go through that line by line, and they're going to give me history as to, yes, this happened, this should have been, nope, they shouldn't be asking us to pay for that kind of conversation coming up. So. Transportation, if you flip to the next page, next meeting is next Thursday. I requested the purchase order or purchase agreement from Auxilio on the 2 buses, and Matt got back to me saying he doesn't want to sell us 2 buses anymore. He wants to just sell us 1 bus now, which, what's the whole point of this conversation, is to not pay for 2 leased buses. So if we get 1 off, giddy up. So I have to follow up with him as to what the next steps are. I need to meet with Philip and Sean on that as well. So that is coming, but it went from 2 now to 1. And we'll figure out what the next steps are. Facilities, I just mentioned that mediation letter dig with Frank and Denny, getting through that. Tomorrow, so Frank did an audit with what's the word I'm looking for? A facilities audit. And so there were, out of, let's just say 200 districts in the state of Michigan, that's not the number, but out of 200, 90% of the schools participated in this audit. So tomorrow there's a call with Plant Moran, a webinar, if you will, to go over the basic understanding of what Michigan district or Michigan school districts need around like their building and capital projects. We learned in that conference last week that Michigan's is one of the only states that doesn't have funding for their buildings and such, and that you have to go out and find that money versus it's just part of your state aid. So long and short of it is we're going to figure out what the problems are, and then there's going to be conversation of what the next steps are to help districts take care of some of those problems. So I will learn a lot tomorrow, and I will get back to you as to what I learned. Extracurriculars, athletics, we have our spring schedules drafted, so that will help us with maybe some of our cow things, our cow meetings and other meetings coming forward. The music concert that happened in December, P.S., I don't know if you guys went, but 7th grade band was phenomenal. They made me want to stand and cheer. It's super exciting. So I'm excited. There's been a lot of talk about wondering the direction of the music program towards the beginning of the year, but I think we're stabilized and we're going to be heading in the right spot. And the talent is showing in that. So, I feel like I'm talking forever. Sorry, gang. Lunch with Leadership is scheduled for January 22nd. Our wind chills are super low that day, but financially this would be the second one that we cancel, so I'm going to hold it no matter what the weather looks like. So lunch with leadership on Wednesday with community members and principals. Ram Announcer was published. If you didn't get a chance to see it, it looks a little something like this. Audrey did a very nice job of getting these published. So if you haven't seen one or one doesn't come to your space, make sure you take a peek at this. You guys are featured in it. Right here, beautiful pictures and favorites of things of who you are. And I think the greatest part about this is it's, you know, I don't know Deputy Benton, but be able to read his little things about, you know, what his favorite movie is, it's a touch point, right? So for you guys to be able to put these touch points out to the community just shows that you're human, and I really appreciate that. So hopefully people will come up to you and say, oh, your favorite is Reese Cups or whatever. What's next? Midwinter Conference. So I went to 3, I don't want to bore you, but I want to make sure I update you. I went to 3 different sessions on Thursday at the Midwinter Conference for superintendents. One was called Right Sizing District Assets. When I sat through it, it was probably more for districts that are way bigger, like a KPS, which have empty buildings and different kind of things to be able to sell or consolidate. But it was a good thought of like, how have we been innovative already in district, and then what are some future things that we could think on for right sizing our assets. Building invitational and engaging schools. This was actually put on by Portage Public Schools, which I had a natural interest as a parent, but I also had a natural interest of, this is in our backyard and these are our competitors. So what are they doing to really up the ante with perception data in their district? So it was a good brainstorm session for me. It's not often that I feel filled all the time, right? Like I feel like I'm always spilling out. So it was a good opportunity for me to be able to think about how can we make our schools inviting and engaging. 43 ways to be less lame with school leadership. So this was super fun. Like, this was super fun. I don't feel like I'm a lame person at all, by the way, but I also never want to be lame. So this was put on by, it's a superintendent and a middle primary principal who wrote this book of just 43 ways. It's not rocket science. It's super easy stuff. But what I gained from this was validation. They're talking about doing their arrival process, and you send out your one-page document of, hey, this is what we need you to do. And people don't read that page. People don't listen to the call. But if you do a carpool karaoke and you're showing them, like Sean's going to be in a big stop sign suit, and I'm not going to let him turn left out of the drive. And like, we're going to make a video, and it's going to, so it's just being creative through your messaging and your marketing. It was validating because we'd already started the snow day poems, things like that. Things that just make you stand out. And you don't need to be lame. You need to be exciting. And that way people want to be able to be a part of your district, and they pay attention and feel engaged. So, last thing is we had our Hall of Fame banquet. There are pictures on the Facebook community page and our website, I believe. If not on our website, Audrey will get those posted tomorrow. And then snow coming as well. It was just a great hit. Friday, snow coming and Hall of Fame. The atmosphere was electric. It was happy. It was just smooth. Everybody felt like they were at home, and it was just nice. So.
It was really nice that you guys did like the blackout for the first time. I know we talked about it. That was really cool. So thank you for everybody involved in that. Okay, safety update. Okay, business items for discussion. Monthly budget discussion. Philip Hensley.
So Philip and I talked. We went over this at a cow, and then we went over it as our board in our another cow, our committee, then our cow. So high overview of a little change that he got, and then just like voted.
Right.
Yeah.
Early December, presented to the Finance Committee. Early January, you all saw it at the Committee of the Whole meeting. The resolution that's in your packet, the only change is there's some additional federal funding, about $35,000. So it improved the bottom line by about, it was like $37,000 improvement in the bottom line. So that was really the only change between what you saw at the Committee of the Whole meeting and now. That's really all I have to say, unless there's any questions I can answer those.
It's always nice when it's the positive way, not the negative way. So I appreciate that.
I'll let you send that in an email.
Excellent.
Sweet.
Thanks.
How about that?
Thank you.
Dustin.
Okay, next up we have 2025 board meetings. So at our call, we talked about possibly changing the time to 6 p.m. and they would remain the third Monday. So we have January 20th, February 17th, March 17th, April 21st, May 19th, June 16th, July 21st, August 18th, September 15th. I don't know how to use this computer.
October 20th, November 17th, and December 15th.
And then we have our PAL meetings would be the first Monday, also at 6 p.m. January 6th, we already had it. February 3rd, April 6th, or April 7th, June 2nd, August 4th, October 6th, and December 1st. Is there any conversation around any of that?
The reason that the third is crossed out is because it's going to be a special meeting.
Did you say there was a December after that one?
December 1st for the PAL.
Okay. Oh, okay, there it is. Okay, beautiful.
I have a really pretty copy in front of me.
Sorry, this is the old one. Nothing was finalized yet. So
Yeah. Does anybody have any questions or discussion? No? Okay. We can move on to committee assignments. So everybody was sent out their committee assignments, and we have business and finance, the treasurer, Diana Shoup, Nate Snelzer, and Gary Gillette. For the foundation, as the rep for the school board, we have Laura Wilkes, and then I'm as the secretary for the foundation. And then the superintendent evaluation is myself, Laura Wilkes, Diana Shoup. Policy and procedures changed up a little bit with Christy Corsi, Sarah Davison, Gary Gillette. And then safety, facility, and transportation, we have held as a special meeting. And then we have our professional relations committee. Lindsay chairs that, sets the meetings, and we have Sarah Davison and Christy Corsi. Any questions? Okay. All right, next up we have, I went in the wrong order. Board compensation. Do you want to have discussion about that? So we have to change the policy for anything to go into effect. So I'm pretty sure we left it as the policy committee is going to meet and bring back a proposal for the board. You guys want to add anything?
I know that we had talked at our last meeting, and I know we had discussed possibly 28. I personally think we should put it at 30. I think we got of our time in that, and I know that we're trying to cut down on meetings and limit what we have, and I'm hopeful that we can do that, but I think 30 meetings or being paid for 30 meetings would be suffice, so that's where I'm at. So.
With the goal of not having 30.
With the goal of not having 30, but just in case.
Yeah. Well, when you add your committee meetings, who knows?
Yeah.
Just to cover bases, that makes sense.
So you guys will work on the policy and bring it back to us when we discuss it from there, correct?
Yep.
really, we just need to change the number from 24 to 30 or whatever the days said.
Yes, 24 currently.
And Chris Rice was supposed to send it out. Did you receive it?
I did not receive it.
I didn't receive it either. Okay. Next up is communications, public participants. We probably have none. So we can move right along to business items for decision. We have the 2024-25 revised general fund budget resolution. I would entertain a motion.
Motion to adopt the 24-25 revised general fund budget resolution as presented.
I'll support.
Do we have any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Corsi,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Gillette,
Yes.
Smeltzer,
Yes.
Shoup,
Yes.
Wilkes,
Yes.
Lieberstein,
Yes. Motion carries 7-0. Next up, we have the consent agenda for organizational meeting items. approval of the date, time, and place of the regular meeting, approval of the place, time, and date for the COW meetings for 2025, approved dates and times for any special meetings, establish board compensation, which that's going to be tabled, delegate the superintendent's conferences to the finance committee, designation of Huntington Bank as the depository for the school funds, authorization to sign checks, contracts, agreements, purchase orders. That would be to the superintendent, right? Designation of electronic funds transferred officer, designation of election duties. So who do we transfer, who does the ETO?
All that information is on the background information on the bar. So, for our bars, quick question. I noticed that like we have a separate bar for the motion to approve meetings and then a motion to approve our compensation, but then a whole different bar for E through G,
And then
E through O.
A through C is its own too, I thought.
Correct.
Okay.
So we'll need to vote on the meetings.
Yeah, we need to vote on the first two, and then we can do the
Yeah.
E through O.
So
Yes, so who
Correct.
for A to C?
Yeah.
we need to do A through C.
It's up to you if you want to finish reading it and then say let's approve each section. It's up to
That's
you.
fine.
Well, it's kind of, I was reading off the notes instead of
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
actually is doing it.
That's okay.
So the ETO is the superintendent and business manager. The designation of election duties would go to the superintendent secretary. And the designation of administrator to assume specific responsibilities for treasury of the board to the superintendent. And then designation of superintendent secretary as the reporting secretary, so that would be Amber Couch. Designation of person to post public meetings to superintendent secretary Amber Couch. Designation of legal services to Truan Law Firm. And designation of audit services to Yo and Yo. District credit card approval. Superintendent should annually submit for board approval the positions titled authorized use for district credit cards. And then the appointment of the Galesburg-Augusta Community Schools Foundation treasurers, which are Cheryl Vanderleen, Jeff McCubbin, Jessica Eberstein, Joey Henson, Joy Chase, Laura Wilkes, Margie Coleman, Rod Smith, Dale Martin, and Terry Blake. So then I would entertain a motion for A through F.
C.
C. A through C.
Motion to approve the 2025 regular committee of the whole and special meetings A through C as presented.
I'll support.
Roll call vote, please.
Horsey,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Gillette,
Yes.
Meltzer,
Yes.
Shu,
Yes.
Wilk,
Yes.
Eberstein,
Yes. Motion carries 7-0. And then I would entertain a motion to approve E through O.
Motion to approve the consent agenda of annual organizational decisions items E through O as presented.
I'll support.
Roll call vote, please.
Horsey,
Yes.
Davidson,
Yes.
Gillette,
Yes.
Meltzer,
Yes.
Shu,
Yes.
Wilk,
Yes.
Eberstein,
Yes. Motion carries 7-0.
Question. Should we approve though the 24 days right now so there is a standard in place until we amend it? the compensation?
Probably just look at it.
Because right now it's just, technically wouldn't just be up in the air right now? I mean, can you?
Well, I would follow the board policy, which is 24.
Okay, that's what I was getting at. I wanted to make sure there's still a policy in place.
Yeah, it doesn't go away.
Okay.
We're just gonna.
Next up, communication, board comments.
I have a question. I finally got into my school email, and after going through about 60 messages, by the way, some spam ones too, not bad. Anyway, what I saw was the teacher board meetings that were supposed to, the ones I was scheduled for, it said they were both canceled. So did that happen, or didn't they?
If do you use your calendar at all? The Google Calendar?
None of them have been canceled though.
When Audrey was maybe sending out the dates, maybe she needed an add an individual or change a date. So it may have been just for manipulation and editing.
It seems to me that was in an email because that's the only thing I opened.
Yeah.
And I just want to get clarification on that.
So whenever you change Google Calendar, it sends an email of the change. So I'm not sure exactly what it was, but I do know what is ever in your Google Calendar is correct. So I will get with
I can
you.
follow up with you.
They're both still on.
Yes, on Friday's weekly update, I will ensure that you have those dates.
Okay.
Yeah, because there was a couple that changed after we walked away from that meeting.
Yep.
Anything else? Anybody else? Okay. Superintendent comments.
Happy board appreciation one last time.
Thank you. Stay warm.
Thank you, everybody, and we'll adjourn this meeting at 7:12.